The 2025 BMW 8 Series. We have no significant changes for this latest model year. So why am I covering this? Well, it's because this is one of the most quote-unquote obtainable high-end cars that you can get in today's market due to the discounts and the incentives that can be had, as well as the reasonable lease deals and finance rates, especially for the 2024 model year. But I'll talk more about that towards the end. But why do I like this car so much? I mean, for one, it is a flagship product from BMW. Two, it looks amazing. And three, it does come with a V8 engine, especially when you go with the M850 or the full M8. Personally, I would skip the 840i. If you wanted the inline six, BMW offers that and a lot of other lower end models in the lineup. When you go with the 8 Series, what makes this car special is the fact that it's offered with a proper high horsepower V8. Even with the M850i, it's making 523 horsepower, and with the M8, it's got 617 horsepower. That is no joke, and that's a lot of car for the money. And not just that, you can increase the power of these BMWs by doing dine-in tunes, and I believe you can even maintain your warranty if you have these dine-in tunes installed by an authorized BMW dealership. So that's something you can do more research on. So yeah, you can potentially buy an M850i and get relatively close to M8 levels of power with the tune. And they also offer like a cold air intake, which according to Dine-In, the cold air intake for the M850i's, and I believe also for the M8s, it's not meant to give you additional sound necessarily, because that's usually the fun thing about intakes with these turbo cars, but instead it's a really closed off tight design with the Dine-In cold air intake, and it's meant to genuinely give you more power, and it's supposed to work well with the Dine-In tune. Again, that's just what I happen to hear, but assuming the Dine-In tune is able to maintain the factory BMW warranty, that just makes these 8 Series models once again a superior value proposition compared to other vehicles. Plus, I like these types of livable, sporty vehicles, right? Having a race car on the street is something a lot of people fantasize about, but until you've actually driven a lot of those hardcore sports cars on the street, you won't really understand just how obnoxious it can be to deal with overly loud tire roar as you roll down the road, or constantly dealing with rocks being kicked up, and a ridiculous ride quality that just snaps your spinal cord in half. These are typically the things that most people are unable to picture when they think of their dream hypercar or whatever. Things like this 8 Series, it's going to be more calm and livable while having a sonorous V8 engine to listen to. But surprisingly, for whatever reason, a lot of people have confirmed this, the M850i sounds better from the factory than the full-on M8. I have no idea why that is, but it's true. The M850 has more of a deep, throaty V8 engine, and it simply sounds great from the factory. But the thing I love about the full-on M8 is the fact that even though it's all-wheel drive, you can actually convert it into a pure rear-wheel drive car with the press of a button. That is amazing. I love the fact that BMW offers it, and that's something you cannot do with the M850i. The M850i is always going to be operating as an all-wheel drive vehicle, which is cool, and that's fine. Once again, very livable package and very all-weather friendly, but that M8 is really sweet when you can convert it into a full rear-wheel drive model. Plus, there's a variety of body styles that you can enjoy this car in. You can get it as a soft top convertible, you can get it as a coupe, or even a stylish 4-door Grand Coupe. So you have a lot of flexibility here with this flagship vehicle. And keep in mind, a new S63 AMG 4-door from Mercedes is touching 200 grand now. V8 powered Porsche Panameras, again, very steep in its price, touching almost $200,000 when you get it the way you want it. The Audi RS7s, things of that nature, there's almost never any good deals on them. Like, the lease deals suck, there's no promotional finance rates, and well-equipped M850s, it's gonna run you around $110,000. The M8s are gonna be around $140,000, $150,000, and once again, you can lease and finance these things, so it's relatively obtainable. Again, I'm not saying it's affordable. a flagship German product is not supposed to be cheap by any means, but I'm just saying it's good value. So how can you save with these vehicles? Well, there is a broker named AutoCompanion who is offering 10% off MSRP on the 2024 BMW 840i and the M850i. And I believe he's also got 10% off on the M8. That can fluctuate, but I've seen him offer that. So that right there is a substantial discount. Plus, when you lease these vehicles, you do get an additional lease credit. So on the M850i 2024 model year, as of right now, there's a $5,000 credit. And on the 2024 M8, there's a $6,000 lease cash that stacks on top of AutoCompanion's discount. So AutoCompanion, he's located in the Washington, D.C. area, and he also has a dealership in California. He is able to ship nationwide, but shipping is something you have to pay extra for, and he does charge a broker fee to access these deals. But if you sign up with my affiliate link in the description box, he will take some money off of his broker fee. And he also has a free leasing calculator, which can show you the interest rate of a lease, the residual values, and once again, these incentives I'm talking about. So whether you are financing, paying cash, or leasing, you should use this calculator to see what incentives you can qualify for in your local zip code. So that free leasing calculator, I will have that linked in the description box below. And when I ran some numbers on the M850 and the M8, the payments are certainly pretty steep. So the M850i, it's about $1,400 a month, and the M8 is almost $1,800 a month. So a $400 a month difference between the two. Now, these payments can go down further if you put down multiple security deposits, which is a refundable deposit that you get back at the end of the lease, or if you sell the car early to break the lease, then you will also get back your MSDs. And this can help reduce the interest rate of the lease, which is about 4.5% for these 8 Series models, but still $1,400 and $1,800. Those are definitely some high payments, but it's way better than anything from Audi. Like most RS Audis are going to be leasing for $2,000 a month. Mercedes-Benz, you can forget about it. Even pre-pandemic, the Benz deals were awful. Now, even with an M850i, if you didn't do any MSDs and you don't qualify for additional discounts like loyalty, on a lease for 3 years, you are paying close to $50,000, and that is a lot of money. At that point, I can see why some people would look into the certified pre-owned market, and you can get relatively clean CPO 8 Series models like the M850s for about $65,000 to $75,000. The M8s are going to be around $75,000 to $85,000. And kind of the bottom barrel pricing right now for an 8 Series from 2019 with around 50,000 miles is going to be $45,000, but that's not going to be CPO most likely, and that's going to be at some random dealership, and all the repairs and the maintenance, that's going to fall on you now. So it just depends on your risk tolerance. You could gamble with some of the aftermarket warranties. I have heard good things about Route 66, Fidelity, and Freedom. Those are 3 warranty companies that I've heard people talking good about. However, I haven't had any personal experience with those warranty companies, but just thought I would let you know about that. But yes, I just wanted to make you aware that CPO BMWs, they also come with relatively good finance rates, although it's only for 36 months, so the payments are going to be pretty steep. And occasionally there's an additional incentive you can get for buying certain CPO BMWs, like with the 8 Series, as of right now, you get an additional $500 incentive. So that helps, and that's just something else for you to look into. So you have the CPO models, and for those of you who want the brand new cars and you don't mind the payment, perhaps you have a business that you can write these things off against, then sure, you got some lease deals that you can work with on the new 8 Series models. And even another vehicle I really like, which is the Lexus LC500, those things are also going for about $2,000 a month on a lease, and there are no special finance rates on the LC500 either, which is really sad. And that's one of the reasons why I like the 8 Series so much, because no matter what you do, the 8 Series ends up being more obtainable than the less expensive LC500. But I still recommend the LC if you want a car with a sonorous, naturally aspirated V8 that you want to keep slightly long-term. AutoCompanion does represent, Lexus, Audi, Mercedes, Porsche, Maserati, and a couple of other brands. So if you have deep pockets, he can certainly help you get other German vehicles as well. But yeah, as of right now in the new performance car space, the vehicles I would look into is this 8 Series, the LC if you're able to, either pay the vehicle off quickly, or if you're just going to be paying cash for it, that's cool too. I would just try to get a deep discount though on the LC, which might be a tall order because there's not many of those vehicles for sale throughout the country. But anyway, aside from the LC and all of that, yeah, a new Porsche 911. Of course, Porsches do hold their value really well. Something like a Carrera T, or even a base model Carrera, something you can look into if you can get an allocation for it. But of course, a relatively desirable 911 is gonna go for about $150, so that's not cheap. And obviously the 911s don't lease well, and there's never any promotional finance rates. Then you have the smaller Caymans and Boxsters and the GT4 cars, right? Even in the certified pre-owned market, the GT4 Porsches, they're priced decently, right? About 120 to 130 for a clean one. But as mentioned before, things like the GT4, GT3 Porsches, they're going to be very stiff, very loud, and not that comfortable in the real world. And if you really got deeper pockets, then the vehicle I would personally really want to buy right now is the new C8 Corvette Z06. That flat plane crank V8, that is really something special, and actually it's a livable package out on the street, especially if you go with the regular tires. I've done a lot of research on exotic vehicles. All of those Huracans and Ferraris, the prices are now asinine on those cars. 200 to 300 grand. It's just ridiculous. And a lot of those vehicles, they're now very old, like 5 to 10 years old, and they all have mileage on them. And most of those cars, they pale in comparison to the C8 Z06, at least on paper. But also, in terms of sound, the Z06 is just so sonorous. It's easily the most exotic feeling vehicle you can get for the money, assuming you can find a reasonable Chevrolet dealership to work with. So yeah, I try to be as obtuse as possible. I try to go with, Aston Martins, Ferraris. I looked at everything, but the C8 Z06, that's going to be brand new under full factory warranty, that ended up being the best value that I can find. So yeah, that's where I stand. 8 Series, LC 500, a couple of Porsches if you're into it and you're able to get allocations, and the Z06 Corvette. Again, if you're able to get an allocation or you're able to find a reasonable dealership that's not going to screw you over. So I'll have AutoCompanion's information in the description box, and let me know in the comment section, what vehicle would you consider in the low to mid $100,000 range? I would like to hear your thoughts. And if you're an owner of any one of these cars, let us know how you like it. What's your ownership experience been? But thank you again for watching. Take care and goodbye.